Hi children and viewers. In previous video I explained about the accuracy, precision and types of errors, systematic errors and random errors. So you must watch it. If you didn't see that one, I will provide the link of that video in this description. So you must watch it. Today I am going to explain about the true value, absolute error, mean absolute error, relative error and percentage of error. Clear children? So here in previous video I clearly explained about the errors. So there is 2 marks question for you in intermediate examinations. What is mean by systematic errors? How we can eliminate them? Systematic errors, the errors which are occurred in any one direction, that error is called systematic error, that can be eliminated by using proper experimental techniques and by using perfect instruments and paying or avoiding personal errors. By avoiding the personal errors we can rectify the systematic errors. So children, today I am going to about this topic. You have to learn about all these things. This is one of the important topic in second chapter. This chapter is very helpful to the AP examinations and board examinations and for other competitive exams also. This one is very important. That's why you have to watch the video very carefully and you have to pay the much more attention on that video and you have to watch the video without any skipping. Okay children, now I am going to the topic here. First thing, you have to know about the true value. What is mean by true value? For example, we are doing one experiment. In that experiment we measured so many values. To understand very clearly, I given different objects. Here we have to find out the length of the objects. So I gave same work to 3 students or number of students. So in that I was taken measurements of one person. First time, what is the experiment name? Simply just imagine, to find the length of the given object. Find the length of the given object by using some vernier calipers. So in previous class we discussed about the finding the length of a slab. So here that is also I am taking here example. So I was given a slab. To the one person and I was given vernier calipers to him. To find the length of the glass slab, he was using the calipers is what? He was using the instrument is what? Vernier calipers. So by using the vernier calipers, you have to find he must be found to be length of the glass slab. So after 1 hour he was completed his experiment and he was given his observations. They are like this. L1 is equals to, for example here, first he was taken L is equals to 2.35 centimeters and L2 is equals to 2.65 second time and L3 is equals to 2.74 and L4 is equals to 2.68 and L5 is equals to some 2.75 and L6 is equals to some 2.91 and L7 is equals to some 2.12 and L8 is equals to 2.32 and L9 is equals to 2.35 and L10 is equals to, he was taken 2.45 centimeters. So he is find or he was discovered or find the values of length of the slab by using vernier calipers. In his observation he was noted like this. Here L1 value is 2.35, L2, L3, L4, L5, L6, L7, L8, L9, L10. So here we have different values. Here L1, L2, L3 and so on, L10, they are called measured values. What is that? Measured or observed values. So here L1, L2, L3, L4, L5, L6, all what we call measured values. What we call measured values. Here, to find the length of the glass slab, one reading is enough. One measured value is enough. But I suggested that take 10 observations. 10 observations. Because here, once you can do any mistake, for example, just imagine here L1 value is 2.35, L2 is 2.65. Clear? In those values I am taking the average L1 plus L2 plus L3 plus and so on, L10 by 10, L10 by 10. That is the average value. Clear? L1 plus L2 plus L3 plus L and so on like that. And by substituting all the values, we are getting some here 2.56 centimeters. 2.56 centimeters. Clear? The average of all these values is called true value. What do you call? True value. When we are doing one experiment, you have to take number of observations. We have so many measured values are there. By taking off average them, we are getting one value. That value should be taken as the true value. The average of all measured values should be called true value. Clear? Here the question, what's that? What is the necessity? What is the necessity to find the number of values? So it is one enough, I think so. But why we are taking the so many values? For that answer is, for example, if we were taken values, first time he was measured 2.35. 2.35 he measured. After that he was not taken anything. But what is the true value? 2.56. That means if you can find only at your time, you will get 2.35, but actual value is what it is, 2.56 centimeters. That means here there is lot of error in the measured value. Lot of error in the measured value. So in daily life also we can say that practice makes perfect. Practice makes man perfect. Like that, while we are doing number of times, the gaining of error should be reduced. Why? What is the necessity to take the average means? Here obviously the error what it is occurred, that is going to be reduced. That's why we have to take the more observations. So generally in a class 20 members are there. In a class 20 members are there. In that 20, top 10 all passed, 10 failed. Then what is the average pass? 50%. That means we will consider failed student and pass students, both like that. So for example, you have to understand very clearly, in a class 20 members are there. Why we have to take the number of observations for that example? Here in 20 members, when a class 20 members are there. One is the top 10 by 10 candidate. By taking him example, we never say that the entire class is all toppers. Clear? And in the same class, one boy is very dull student. He is eligible for 6 failed subject candidates. That much of dull student. By taking him reference, we never conclude all the students are dull students. Yes, that's wrong. In the same manner, by taking one value or one observation, how we can decide this is the correct value? That's not right. So that's why we have to take the number of observations. When we are taking number of observations, then the possibility of error should be going to be reduced. That's why we have to take the number of observations. Got children? So now I am directly going to definitions now here. What is true value? So what is the true value? In an experiment, the average of all observed values or all measured values, that should be called true value. Clear? That should be what we call true value. So here now, in this case, finding the length of a glass slab, we have 10 values are there, L1, L2, L3 like that. Then average of them, what we call true value, that is what here, 2.56 centimeters. So children, here I am writing now expression for true value. In an experiment, A1, A2, A3, A4, A5 and so on An. In an experiment, A1, A2, A3, A4, A5 and so on An. They are the measured values or observed values. Then true value can be written as true value is equals to A1 plus A2 plus A3 plus and so on An by n. That is the definition for true value. The average of all the measured values should be called true value. Clear? Next thing is absolute error. You must know about this one. What is mean by absolute error? You have to know this one. To understand that, already in previous classes you learned what is the value of small z. What is small z? Acceleration due to gravity. So we know that g is equal to what? 9.8 meter per second square. Clear? 9.8 meter per second square. It is the average value or it is the constant value for g. So that is what g? Acceleration due to gravity. So children, the value of g should be measured by experiment of simple pendulum. What is that? Simple pendulum. Clear? You don't bother about the experiment. Just simply I am taking now here. In this case, we did one experiment. Then we got the values. A1 is 9.7 and A2 is 9.6 and A3 is 9.5 and A4 is 9.9 and A5 is 9.2 and A6 is 9.1 and A7 is 9.0. Here clear? Units are same thing, meter per second square. So those are the measured values. Clear? So A1, A2, A3, A4, A5, A6, A7 and so on like that. What is the experiment there, children? The experiment is finding the acceleration due to gravity by using some experiment, that is simple pendulum experiment. That is the activity we are doing. In that, after the completion of that experiment, the observation value should be like this. Clear? Then here we are taken like this. These are the measured values. Then how we can find the true value? By substituting like 9.7, 9.6, 9.5, 9.9, 9.2, 9.1, 9.7. Clear? So here now, just imagine, from that we measured average is, true value is 9.8 meter per second square. Just observe. I didn't check that value either it is right or wrong, but just imagine that the average values we are taken 10, I mean observed values are we are taken 10, in that by taking the average what we call true value. For true value we are getting the value is 9.8 meter per second square. 9.8 meter per second square. That means true value is what? 9.8 meter per second. And what is A1? 9.7 meter per second square. 9.8 is the true value. First measured value is what? 9.7. Observe now, both are equal or different? Both are not equal. Both are not equal. How much difference is there? How much difference? Here 9.8 is there and here 9.7 is there. How much difference? 0.1. 9.8 minus 9.7, then what do you get? 0.1. That 0.1 is called absolute error. What is that? Absolute error. So in this case the absolute error can be written as true value minus measured value. Got it, children? True value minus measured value, what we call, that is absolute error. Absolute error is equals to true value minus measured value. That is the definition of absolute error. The magnitude of difference of true value and measured value. The magnitude of difference of true value and measured value is called absolute error. So here the first value is what? A1. Second value is what? A2. I clearly told that A1, A2, A3, A4, A5 hence they are what we call, they can take it as the measured values. So here to understand clearly I am writing now here absolute error of A1. How much error available for A1? For that I am writing absolute error of A1 should be mentioned as delta A1. Absolute error of A1 can be written as delta A1 is equals to mod of true value. What is true value? 9.8. 9.8 minus measure value is how much? Children, what is A1? First one, what it is? A1. Here what is 9.7? That means what you get? 0.1. So children, you have to observe in this case delta A1. Delta A1 is what? Absolute error. Absolute error of what it is? A1. Got children? Absolute error can be expressed in form of delta. Delta A1. Delta A1 is the absolute error of A1. Then what about delta A2? Delta A2 is the absolute error of A2. And delta A3, absolute error of A3, like that. So here absolute error of A1 is what? Delta A1 is equals to true value minus measured value. Similarly, absolute error of A2, delta A2 is equals to what we write? True value is what? 9.8 minus A2 value is what it is? 9.6. 9.6. Then what you get? 0.2. Similarly, here I am taking now A3 and A4 also same thing. Here what you write? Absolute error of A3 is what? Delta A3 is equals to what you write now? 9.8 minus 9.8 minus 9.5. So what do you get? 0.3. Similarly, absolute error of A4. Absolute error of A4. Absolute error of A4, that is what? Delta A4 is equals to mod of 9.8 minus 9.9. 9.9. That's why here simply 9.8 minus 9.9 means what? Minus 1. What it is? Minus 1. But you are writing mod. Mod of minus of mod x. Mod of minus x means what, right? X. Mod of minus y means what, right? Y. In the same manner, here mod of minus 1 is nothing but here mod of 9.8 minus 9.9. What do you get? Mod of minus 0.1. That means you will take my mod means what do you get? 0.1. Like that. And I am taking finally here absolute error of an. Absolute error of an. What we get? Similarly here what we get? True value minus measured value. Mod of. So like that. Children, this is about the absolute error. What is absolute error? The magnitude of difference of true value and measured value is called absolute error. Clear, children? So for every measured value there is some absolute error. For example, 9.8 and we also measured 9.8, then absolute error is 0. Like that. So this is about the second definition, children. And third one, mean absolute error. Mean absolute error. Children, mean absolute error. Look here, children. Absolute error, true value. What is true value? Mean of all measured values. Mean of all measured values, what we call true value. Measurement of average of all true values is called, all measured values, so it is called true value. In the same manner, already I just now explained what's that. Absolute error of A1 is delta A1. Delta A1 is the absolute error of A1. Delta A2 is absolute error of A2. And delta A3 is absolute error of A3, like that. That means here we have delta A1 absolute error of A1, delta A2 absolute error of second one, delta A3 absolute error of third value, and delta A4 absolute error of fourth one, and so on. Delta AN. Delta AN is what? Absolute error of AN. Absolute error of AN. So now I am taking average of all those values. All those values by N. Then this is called mean absolute error. What is called? Mean absolute error. Simply the average of all the absolute errors, the average of all the observed values is called mean absolute error. Mean absolute error can be shown by the symbol delta A mean. What's that? Delta A mean. So this is the equation for mean absolute error. That is what? Mean absolute error. Children, clear? So already here 0.1 is delta A1, 0.2 is delta A2, 0.3 is delta A1, and 0.1 is delta A4. Like that, we have different values for absolute errors. By taking the all of average, what do we get? Mean absolute error. Okay, children. And next thing, fourth one is most important. On that only we have so many problems. Relative error. relative error can be expressed as relative error is equals to nothing but it is a relative error is nothing but it is the ratio. Relative error is ratio of mean absolute error to the true value. The ratio of mean absolute error and true value is called relative error. So children, you have to observe here now. Already we have mean absolute error is this one. Delta A mean is what? Mean absolute error. Just now only I told you how we can find out the delta A mean. And this is the true value. A mean and delta A mean. The average of these two. Delta A mean by A mean. That should be called here relative error. Relative error is nothing but it is the ratio of mean absolute error and true value. That is what we call relative error. In this example, delta A mean should be taken as mean absolute error and A mean should be taken as the true value. The ratio of these two what we call relative error. Relative error. Next thing children, this is very important actually. Delta A mean by A mean, mean absolute error by true value what we call relative error. Now, next one definition is percentage of relative error. What's that? Percentage of relative error. So if we can multiply the same thing, percentage of error should be written as like this. Percent of error is equals to relative error into 100. Percent of error is equals to relative error into 100. It means that if we can multiply the relative error with 100, if we can multiply the relative error with 100, then we will get percentage of error. So simply here in this case I am writing now percentage of error is equals to, how we can write, delta A mean by A mean into 100. Now this is the percent of error. So children, very important here, just watch it again here. What is the true value? We did one experiment. In experiment, the values are what we are measured: A1, A2, A3, A4, A4 and so and so on, AN. All these are the measured values. In any experiment, the average of all the measured values should be called as true value. That's why here true values can be written as A1 plus, A2 plus, A3 plus and so on, AN by N. It is now average value, A mean. A mean also called as true value. And second definition, what is that? Absolute error. The magnitude of difference of true value and measured value is called absolute error. So true value is mean what we are find and measured value is what we are taken. So A1, absolute error of A1 is what? Delta A1, delta A2, delta A3, like that. We have so many values. For every observation or for every measured value, there is some absolute error. Here, delta A1 is the absolute error of A1, delta A2 is the absolute error of A2, and so on. Delta AN is the absolute error of AN. That's why we have, for every one measured value there is some absolute error. By taking the average of all those, what we get? Mean absolute error. That means the average of all the measured values should be called here the average of all the absolute errors. That should be called mean absolute error. So here delta A1 is the absolute error of A1, delta A2, delta A, like that. We have, if we can take n number of measured values, the average should be written as delta A mean is equals to delta A1 plus delta A, like that. And next thing is what? Relative error. Relative error. What's that? The ratio of mean absolute error to the true value. Here we have delta A mean is absolute error, A mean is true value. By taking of the average, what do you get? Relative error. Relative error is nothing but delta A mean by A mean. That what do you get? Percent of, relative error. Clear? After that, if you can multiply the relative error with 100, what do you get? Percentage of error. Children, so this is a very important topic. That's why you have to watch it carefully. And if you can like this video, like, share, comment the video, and subscribe my channel for latest notifications. So I hope you understand, children. We will meet in the next video with some other interesting topic. Bye, take care.